Bam! My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. I'm Jay Smith, and you guys know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. That's what we do. And let me just kick this thing off like we always do. You know, doesn't matter if it's hot where you're at, if it's cold, if it's raining, if it's snowing. It's still a beautiful day, man. God gave us another day to be alive, another day. If you're breathing right now, shit, thank you, God. Say thank you, man. We got another one, another day to enjoy life, to enjoy the sweet science. Shout out to everybody who's already tuning in. Side, Toy Mafia, Pasta Track. What's the deal, my peoples? Underrated. We're in the building. Fellas, we're going to kick this show off with Ryan Garcia. And I'm going to tell you why. Ryan has been a fighter who has been discredited throughout his career, who's been diminished, who's been hated on. And there's a reason for that, right? Let me break that down real quick for you guys. Underrated. We're in the building, my brother. What's the deal? I'm going to tell you why Ryan Garcia has been viewed the way that he has, since early in his career. So, as you guys know, Ryan just won his first title on Saturday versus Mario Barrios. Before that, he had never won one. And he became a very big star early in his career. And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Like, why is this guy such a big star? This guy hasn't done anything. He hasn't beat anyone. And people didn't like that. They didn't like to see Ryan, on the big stage, his name talked about amongst the best young fighters out there. They felt like he just had not done enough for his name to be up there like that, for him to be that type of star. And a lot of people considered him like a social media star or a YouTube star, a YouTuber boxer, right? And what they didn't understand, and the reason I used to always say at some point Ryan Garcia will become a world champion, is that Ryan has that amateur pedigree. It's not like he just showed up. He's not a Jake Paul. It's not like he's a YouTuber who then started boxing. Ryan Garcia was winning amateur tournaments when he was a little kid. He has that amateur pedigree. So it's not like he just came out of nowhere. He won a bunch of national titles as a kid. And then he transitioned into his professional career, and he was super popular because he already had a following. I seen some of his amateur fights where a whole section of the crowd was cheering for Ryan Garcia. So he turned professional, and he already was establishing a fan base. He started doing the YouTube thing, YouTube videos and all that stuff, and gained a lot of fans that way too. But what people didn't realize is that Ryan is not a popular YouTuber who became a boxer. He's a popular boxer who got more popular because of the YouTube platform and other social media. But he's a legitimate boxer who's been accomplishing since he was an amateur. So, yes, people didn't like him. People felt like he, just a social media star. But the guy was accomplishing since he was an amateur. Sai, you're correct. He went 2-2 versus Devin Haney. I think that right there shows you that, as an amateur, he got to face Devin. He got to face Shakur. He lost to Shakur. I think they only faced each other once. So now that they're professionals, they're all up there. Why would Ryan Garcia not be one of the guys that make it to the top when he's been accomplishing since he was an amateur? So I've been telling people, and I felt confident that Ryan was going to become a world champion. And he went from this kid who was winning championships as an amateur boxer to this guy who now wins a title as a professional. A lot of people didn't expect it, didn't see it coming. There's always going to be a lot of pushback when when they don't want to see you up there. And you already see the haters for Ryan Garcia. They're already doing the usual hater stuff. They're going to diminish Mario Barrios. Now Mario Barrios is a bum. Mario Barrios is a nobody. But a lot of them didn't say that before the fight. Before the fight, they were saying that Mario Barrios was going to beat him up. Mario Barrios was going to knock him out. Ryan Garcia didn't have the skills to beat Mario Barrios. Ryan wins the fight. Now Barrios is a bum. And he's a nobody and he ain't never done nothing. That's what boxing fans do when they turn into haters of a fighter. Instead of giving them credit and seeing, wow, this guy accomplished. This guy made it to the top. The lunatic librarian in the building, salute family, bam. Instead of people just seeing, wow, this guy made it to the top. Won a world title against all odds. Well, everybody said this was never going to happen. And here he is, a world champion. So I want people to understand, Ryan Garcia is someone who started way at the bottom as an amateur boxer, accomplished as an amateur, then moved on to become a professional, and now he accomplished as a professional too. So at this point, he's accomplished at every level. How can you hate on a guy like that? So I get that people didn't like him or don't like him, but when you win and you become a world champion, how could you hate on that? How could you find an angle to even try to hate? It's tough, my people. Becoming a world champion in boxing is no easy task. The lunatic librarian. Ryan Hansby was always going to be an issue for Barrios, and I said that. I said it before the fight. When I made my prediction, I said the speed of Ryan Garcia's hands is going to be a factor here. The lunatic librarian. Barrios was analyzed to have slow feet, big body, but gets hit a lot. Santiago Ramirez, good morning, brother. Salute, family. So again, man, much respect to Ryan Garcia. You know, we're talking about a kid who has that amateur pedigree, who was winning as a kid, and now he made it all the way to the top as a professional. Now, here's the deal. Ryan Garcia is one of the biggest stars in boxing. And because of that, he's going to have options. What's going to be next for him? How about Shakur Stevenson? You guys already seen Ryan and Shakur going back and forth, going at it on social media before the fight. After the fight, they asked Ryan Garcia who he wants next. He said Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson was right there in the venue and was like, let's do it. So this fight is quite possible. It is possible, my people, that this fight happens. And Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson, that's a big, big fight, y'all. Big, big fight. Does it happen this year? Does it happen next? It's possible. It's quite possible. The timing is perfect. Why? Shakur's coming off of the biggest win of his career. Ryan Garcia is coming off of the biggest win of his career. They're both reigning champions right now. It don't get no better. The lunatic librarian. Barrio was decorated amateur, became world champion with the Mexican WBC belt. I want the Haney rematch. They both world champions in the same weight class. And that's the thing. Barrios is a legitimate champion. He's a legit champion. But when people don't like a fighter, they're going to diminish their opponent. That is the go-to hater tactic. You saw them do it to Terrence Crawford. Everybody who Terrence Crawford beat was a nobody. Or done, or a hype job, or washed, or the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. Everybody he beats, they're either a nobody, or a hype job, or they're washed, or, you know. So that's the go-to strategy for the haters. Diminish the opponent. The lunatic librarian. Shakur is a 135 that move up to 140. Now, going to 147. So I think that if they do make that fight, it will be at a catch weight of 144. Now, the stuff about Shakur being a 135 who went to 140 and then to the next one, I wouldn't have a problem with that. He's not a small dude. So you look at Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford moved up to 154. He just had one fight there and then jumped 2 divisions to fight Canelo. And you saw the results. So size is not going to dictate the outcome of a fight. Skills, 9 times out of 10, is going to be the deciding factor. So I don't have a problem with Shakur deciding to go to 144 and meet Ryan Garcia. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think that's a big, big fight. And right now they're both at the top of their game. But like I said, Ryan Garcia now being a world champion and being such a big star, he's going to have options. And one of those options, of course, is Shakur Stevenson. Another option is Devin Haney. So the lunatic librarian, there's a lot of people that want to see this fight first, that prefer to see this fight first. I understand, because there's another layer to this fight. And it's the fact that it's a rematch. The fact that the first fight played out the way that it did. We know Ryan beat the shit out of Devin, but showed up to the fight 3 pounds overweight, tested positive, popped dirty. So those layers make this rematch super anticipated, because now we want to see what happens. Number one, if you meet up in the welterweight division where both of you look great, and number two, you're both world champions. So now we're adding that the rematch will be a championship fight. The first fight wasn't. Because remember, Ryan Garcia didn't make weight. So he beat Devin, but he wasn't going to take the title with him. He wasn't going to become a world champion. Now that's a no contest, and we want to see the rematch. We want to see, does Ryan Garcia have Devin Haney's number, and can he do it again? Or Debo Dev at 147 is going to beat the crap out of Ryan in that rematch. Is Devin Haney going to do the same thing Miguel Cotto did to Margarito? He got cheated, then in the rematch beat the crap out of Margarito. Side, I think the Haney rematch makes more sense than the Shakur fight right now, though. 310 man Ruth. Who? Salute, family. Bam. So, look, I like the Devin Haney rematch, but to be honest, if I could pick what goes first, I'd pick Shakur first. And I'm going to tell you why I would pick Shakur first. I already saw Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia in the ring. I already saw them. I know that the outcome could be different now, but I already saw them share the ring. I never seen Ryan Garcia and Shakur share the ring, or Devin Haney and Shakur share the ring. So I prefer a whole brand new fight than a rematch any day of the week. If you got 3 stars and any division, if you got 3 stars and 2 of them faced each other, I'm going to prefer one of them fighting the 3rd star than them 2 fighting the rematch. Any day of the week. It's the same thing with B-Roll and Better BF. When they spoke about them doing the trilogy, any day of the week, I would have preferred David Benavidez. Why? Because I already saw them 2 fighting. I already saw them 2 in the ring together. I haven't seen either one of them with David Benavidez. So I prefer to see the Mexican Monster with either one, Better BF or B-Roll, than them 2 fighting each other again. I'm always happier to see 2 fighters that I've never seen facing each other than a rematch. Side, can Ryan win without the juice? Well, it looks like he became a champion without anything. So can he win? We're going to find out. It's, that's going to be a very hard fight to predict, because we have to consider, man, he's going to be fighting Debo Dev at 147. This is the best version of Devin Haney that we ever seen. Period, point blank. So it's a tough prediction to make. It's going to be time to try and figure out, does Ryan Garcia have Devin Haney's number? Or that was a 1-fight deal and he gets cooked in the rematch. We don't know that. But look at this. Look at this. After Ryan Garcia became a world champion, we see his name ringing bells with Shakur Stevenson. Obviously, we're talking about the possibility of him facing Devin Haney. But then there's Conor Ben. I don't know if you guys seen it, But Conor Ben is talking about keep my belt warm for me. I think it's funny that Conor Ben is saying that because now you want to fight Ryan Garcia? And you said Mario Barrios was going to knock him out, by the way. Look at that. Conor Ben said that Ryan Garcia was going to get knocked out by Mario Barrios. Now you want to fight. So you guys see, man, Ryan Garcia, that guy who's been hated on so much, who people say that he was scared to face tough opponents, he's scared to fight any of the best. Look at the resume. Already been in the ring with Tank Davis. Already been in the ring with Devin Haney. Beat Mario Barrios. And next he's going to be in a big fight again. I guarantee you. Ryan Garcia is not turning down for nothing. So next, you might see him with Shakur. You might see him with Devin. I don't think Conor will be next because I think Conor's going to end up fighting Rollies. But still, look what's going on with Ryan Garcia. He's been discredited so much, hated on so much, and now he's a world champion. There you have it. Side, Conor a dummy, but he getting the bag at Zuffa. I'm not high on Ryan, but I still think he'd cook Conor Ben. So, look, man, Conor Ben, in a way, it was a real bad look for him, what he did. Because, yo, Eddie Hearn been on his side through thick and thin. When that steroid shit happened, everybody was shitting on Conor Ben. And Eddie Hearn stood with him, fought for him. And then he pulled that move. It's like, damn, yo. Chris Eubank Jr. labeled him a scumbag. Shakur hands, salute, family. Bam. B. Wayne. Haney don't want that rematch. They looked Ryan in the first fight because they thought he wasn't a threat and just money. They took him around the first fight. So I'm going to say this. And I think it's something to point out. Yo, Devin Haney looked like a different animal in the welterweight division. He looked like a different beast. Debo Dev. So he did say that the ship sailed on that fight because Ryan got off of VADA testing. And let me clarify that for you guys. The VADA testing thing, right? So you can be enrolled in VADA testing for the whole year. So even when you're not fighting, they show up and test you at whatever time, any day of the week. You got to let them know where you are so that they can show up and test you randomly anytime, right? Whether you're fighting or not. And that's not something everybody wants to be in. Everybody doesn't want to be enrolled in VADA testing, 365 days a year. It sounds nice because like, oh my God, you're open to being tested any time. You got to be clean, right? But just think about it. Do you want to be hanging out with your family in a restaurant and the VADA people show up? Yeah, we need to pull you aside for a piss test. And you could be anywhere. You could be at home with family members. You got family visiting from out of state, having a good time. Oh, yeah, VADA testing here. They're going to test me real quick. Hold on. Pause the celebration, everybody. So everybody don't want to be dealing with that shit. It doesn't mean that you cheating. Everybody don't want to be in that. So there's also the cost, the $25,000 to $50,000 per. Which, if they do it randomly, that means they can make as much money as they want off of you. But it's not just that. For this fight, right now, Ryan was enrolled in VADA testing. He was enrolled in VADA testing throughout the whole training camp and up until the fight. So the idea that some may have, oh, wait a minute, because you could do steroids and then you could cycle off after you get it in VADA testing. But then that shit wouldn't even make sense. And I'm going to tell you why it wouldn't make sense. If you're doing steroids, right, supposedly to get strong and to cheat, and then before you get in training camp, you have to cycle off because you're going to start getting VADA tested, right? So you cycle off a couple of weeks to clean your system out. Now you enroll in VADA testing and you get in your training camp. So you do your whole training camp clean, 12 weeks clean. You ain't gonna have shit in your system you ain't cheating. If you did steroids 4 months ago and you cycled off and now you're doing a clean training camp, you're not cheating, bro. Whatever you did months ago is not gonna help you in that fight if you've been clean this whole time. So there's that. If Ryan Garcia is gonna involve in VADA testing for every single one of his fights, you don't have nothing to worry about. You don't have nothing to complain about in reality. But Devin wants him to be 365 days. If I'm Ryan Garcia, I'm like, F you. I don't need to do what you want me to do. Don't you see that I'm a big star? My G, I'm a bigger star than you. So I don't gotta do what you want me to do. The lunatic librarian, VADA and WADA testing is in the tens of thousands per test. Come on now. It costs money. And it's not just about the money. It's how tedious it is. Everybody don't want people to randomly show up to test them throughout the year. Nah. I don't have to follow what you want me to do. So basically, Devin is saying, well, since he didn't do what I want him to do, the ship has sailed on that fight. Well, if the ship sailed, I think Devin Haney loses more than Ryan Garcia. Because he's the one that needs that rematch. Ryan don't need the rematch. He beat the shit out of Devin Haney. Whether he cheated or not, we know that he showed up 3 pounds overweight. But the fight itself, we know how it played out. Gave Devin the beating of a lifetime, had him rolling around the canvas and everything. So you can't dictate how you're going to negotiate with Ryan Garcia when he's already one of the biggest stars in boxing. B. Wayne, Ryan is the A side, 100%. He's the A side. He's the A side or they don't fight. Simple as that. I think he wants to fight Devin Haney bad enough to where they could go 50-50. They could split everything 50-50 and let's get it done. Because they both want to fight each other. The only thing is that Devin wanted to happen under his terms as far as the VADA testing. So I don't know if that's going to be enough for the fight to not get made. But it's like I just told y'all. Ryan Garcia has Shakur Stevenson, who wants to fight him, who he called out. He also has Conor Ben, who also wants to fight him, who he called out. And guess what? Tank Davis is coming back. That rematch might also become an option. Because trust me when I tell you, once I saw Coach Cal saying, yo, Tank is going to be back, that's it. I expect to see Tank Davis back in the ring this year. But what are going to be the options for Shakur Stevenson? Because think about it. Shakur Stevenson versus Ryan Garcia could actually happen next. And if it does happen next, that's a big, big fight. But if it doesn't, you still got other options for Shakur Stevenson. Because he could stay at 140. He could move up if it's for a big name. And then he's also willing to go back down to 135. So right now, Shakur and Ryan and Devin, all three of them got options. And the interesting thing about this, my peoples, if you think about it, Ryan Garcia is coming off of the biggest win of his career. Devin Haney is coming off of, I wouldn't say is the biggest win of his career, but one of the biggest wins of his career. And then Shakur Stevenson is without a doubt coming off of the biggest win of his career in Teofimo Lopez. So all three of these fighters are coming off of a monster win, and all three of them are reigning world champions right now. Remember when people used to say Ryan Garcia wasn't part of the four kings? The young kings coming up. Nah, he's not part of it. He's not part of it. Now, it's three of them reigning world champions, and it's Tank Davis who don't got a title right now. Or he's a champion in reset, something like that. The real King George, Devin Haney, is scared of Ryan. He doesn't want that smoke. Look, the thought crossed my mind, to be honest. And I say that because Devin Haney has been saying that he wanted to get that get back, that he wanted it blood. And now all of a sudden he's like, nah, Ryan is not enrolled in VADA testing. The ship has sailed. I want to maintain the integrity of the sport. He even said, look, when Ryan won this fight, that Ryan wasn't that good juice. So Devin Haney's going to keep throwing that steroid shit on Ryan. It's like he never got over that ass whooping. The letter M. Garcia got Haney's number. I said that was a possibility. I said it's a possibility that he got Devin Haney's number because the way that he beat him, if you think about it, it's not that he was outboxing Devin. There were moments in that fight where Devin was outboxing him. But he just kept catching him with that left hook. He got his number to where he was able to time him, bang, and keep catching him with it, keep dropping him with it, keep hurting him. So Ryan Garcia may actually have Devin Haney's number. I'm not saying that he does. We have to see the rematch to find out. But then you have to consider Debo Dev is different, man. Debo Dev is a different animal. You have to understand that too. Pasa track. People don't realize it's hard to transition from amateur to professional. And Ryan had 100 amateur fights. Ryan is coming into his own. And in that weight class, I say Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney both got to the weight class where they feel comfortable, where they feel good, where they don't have to starve themselves to make weight. Where they could look if Ryan Garcia made weight comfortably. He weighed 146.5. He was below the limit by 0.5. So you know that he makes that weight comfortably. The same thing with Devin Haney. So they got to the welterweight division, and I think we find out this is where they need to be at. Pasa try. He just whooped Devin's ass, man. He beat the crap out of him. Gave him the beating of a lifetime. Nasty beating. Y'all remember Devin Haney's face looking like a Ninja Turtle. Looking like Donatello and shit. Shakur hands. Devin ain't different. Yeah, bro. Like 147 Dev. I see him as having all the tools and resources he already had, plus power. Now he brought up power into that division. Pasa track. He looked in shape too. Yo, both of them. If you look at Debo Dev at 147, Ryan Garcia at 147, they look strong. They both look strong. Now, my peoples, a little thing about Manny Pacquiao. He posted this, that he has to run a lot because he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather be running too much. And then Floyd responded by telling him, defense, you should try it. And Manny's like, man, you ran for 12 rounds. So Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, they already started going back and forth on social media. Floyd Mayweather saying, look, man, that's my leftover, and I'm going to beat him again. And, yo, you can put that 51 and 0 on my resume already. Come on, man. Come on, my people. Shakur hands. Devin's the same guy. Bigger than his opponents, like 135 and 140 against Regis. I mean, he's a big dude. But at the welterweight division, he brought that power there with him. You saw how he dropped. Brian Norman Jr., nobody expected it. Side, Tio said his fight with Shakur was scripted. Pasa track. Manny ain't taking the lighty. Manny wants to kick his ass. The fight lightly. Look, man, I'm going to tell you this right now. Manny Pacquiao desperately wants to give Floyd Mayweather that O. Desperately. Can he do it? We're going to see. We're going to see because obviously Manny Pacquiao had a fight recently versus a world champion in Mario Barrios, and it was a draw. It was a close fight. So Floyd Mayweather hasn't been in the ring in a long time. Been a very long time since he last fought. Can he, get in there and be his usual self? We're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out. But this is a tough fight for both of them. Father Time is already on their heels. Floyd Mayweather just turned 49 years old. Manny Pacquiao is 47. neither one of them is going to perform, you know, at their prime level. But they don't really, neither guy has a big edge because of the age factor. Danny on the ground, the way the contract is written, that's how they're fighting. So I did see that they're going to be fighting in a big ring. I don't know the size, the dimensions, but it is a big ring, which is going to favor Floyd as far as him being able to move around, make Manny chase him, counter punch him, all that stuff. Shakur, it's going to be a sparring match. I don't think so, bro. I don't think it's going to be a sparring match. If it would have been an exhibition, then I would have told you it's a sparring match. Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson, that's a sparring match. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd, you know, if you think about the past, what they went through, their fight, the trash talking, the fact that they honestly don't like each other, this ain't going to be a sparring match, bro. They both going to be out there. They both going to have a monster training camp. Floyd Mayweather going to get in the best shape of his life for Manny Pacquiao. And Manny is going to do the same thing. Obviously, in the best shape, given their age. They're going to give it everything they got in that training camp. They both, you're talking about two of the most accomplished fighters in boxing history. They're not going in there to lose, Shakur hands. I promise you. They both going in there. You know, Floyd, like, he got to keep that O. The whole Floyd Mayweather brand is built on that 50-0. Built. And then Manny Pacquiao, you know, one of the most accomplished fighters ever, he's trying to be the first guy to beat Floyd Mayweather. He knows. Look, Manny's always been about making history. That's what he's been about. Pasta try. Really? It's like a 26-foot ring. I'm not sure the size. I read it somewhere. But I'm not sure if that was factual information. But supposedly it is going to be a big ring. So this fight right here, my peoples, look. Both of those guys are going in that ring with a chip on their shoulder. Both of them. You know, Manny obviously wants to avenge that rematch. And he's about making history. He wants to be the first guy to beat Floyd Mayweather. He want to be that. And then you got Floyd, who he's trying to protect that O. His whole brand is built off of that 50 and O. That's what I mentioned to you guys yesterday. You could ask a bunch of fans in the street to tell you how many champions Floyd beat. They don't know. Tell you some of the champions that Floyd beat. They don't know. Can't even name his opponents. But if you ask about his record, everybody knows 50-0. Everybody will say 50-0. His brand is built upon being undefeated. So he's bringing the chip into on his shoulder to win this fight. Manny been more active on a world level. That's a fact. Riyadh, did Floyd really beat him? Well, you know, we can go back and forth about our opinion, but he beat him. That's it. It's on the box rec. The box rec says he beat him. He beat him. He beat him. And I gotta say this. The first fight, if you guys remember, it didn't live up to the hype. This was supposed to be the fight of the century. It was supposed to be, you know, one of the best fights that we ever seen. And it turned out to be a dud. Because it wasn't as action-packed as we expected. It was the, you know, Floyd Mayweather using the footwork, moving around, Manny Pacquiao chasing him, Floyd counter-punching him and moving, and clinching every once in a while and moving some more, counter-punching, Manny Pacquiao trying to chase him, caught him a couple of times in the ropes, landed a few good shots. But it was that type of fight where Manny was chasing, Floyd was moving, counter-punching, moving, counter-punching. And that's not the fight that people thought it was going to be. Well, this time around, I don't know if Floyd is going to be able to move around the ring for 12 rounds. I have a feeling that Floyd is going to stand there in the pocket and trade with him a little bit more than what we saw the first time around. Pause the track. A knocked out Floyd would be wow. That would make huge boxing history. That I want to see. Well, Manny Pacquiao was to knock Floyd Mayweather out. That's gonna overtake all boxing platforms. All boxing platforms on a world scale will be talking about that. Manny Pacquiao knocking out Floyd Mayweather. And then we're going to have the conversation, is Manny better than Floyd? Is Manny the greatest of all time? Blah, blah, blah. And then there's going to be the crowd that's going to say, yeah, but he beat him when Floyd was 49. It doesn't matter. He's 47. You see, if Devin Haney fought Floyd, if Boots fought Floyd, and they beat him, then you could say, yeah, but they fought a washed-up Floyd Mayweather. But if Manny Pacquiao beat him, you can't really say that, because Pacquiao 47 years old too. He old too. It's free to think. Manny just throw hands like, come on. Packer Gamer, good morning, man. Salute, family. Bam. ¿Qué lo que es, my name? Packer Gamer, I want to watch this fight. We talk about possible few weeks. Now definitely fighting. And you may recall that I said, if Floyd Mayweather comes back, the opponent for him to come back against is Manny Pacquiao. Because they're the same, they're right around the same age. They already fought each other. Floyd already beat him. That's the fight that will make sense. I couldn't envision Floyd Mayweather trying to come back against no Devin Haney, against no Teofimo, Shakur, you know, young fighters that were definitely going to beat him at his age. Side, Bill wants Devin to fight Floyd. Floyd is not going to fight Devin Haney. Floyd is not going to fight Devin. And I'm going to tell you this right now. And Bill said it himself. Devin Haney is the fighter that made Floyd realize that it was time to retire. Because he sparred with Devin, and Devin supposedly put all type of hands on him. That's why he said, yeah, I can't stick around longer because these young guns, they're going to beat me. That's it. My time is up. John Wayne, morning, back center. Bam! Salute, bro. Salute, family. It's free to think. Or AB would be good. Or AB would be good for the sport. AB, man, unfortunately, AB is done. He's done. That's it. He could go in, maybe try to be a gatekeeper, but AB's not even a threat to become a world champion at this point. Shakur hands lies. That's not true. What are we talking about, family? What's not true? What are we lying about? Now, let me just say this. Before this fight was even a possibility, I spoke about it. And I said, this fight can happen. And the reason I started to feel like even more like it could happen is when they both had an exhibition for April. Those of you who were on the show, you guys know I said it. Floyd Mayweather got an exhibition in April. Manny Pacquiao got an exhibition in April. Nah, that's not a coincidence. This is going to set the stage for them to fight each other. And look, we see it now. It's free to think. No for a sub. Morris. Yes, you're right. AB through. Yeah, AB's done. AB's done. He spent so much time goofing around and messing up his personal life and kind of putting boxing on a back burner. That's it. He's pretty much done. At this point, it's going to be more about trying to get a fight to make some money and stay above water than anything else. He's not a threat anymore. John Rocks. What can you say about Manny Pacman almost beating Barrios at his age? I mean, that says a lot. He fought a world champion in Mario Barrios. People was expecting him to get beat up, get knocked out, all of it. So I think it says Manny Pacquiao is in great shape and can still perform at a high level. For sure. Packer Gamer, yup, something was brewing. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe they said, yo, let's fight in April. Let's do an exhibition in April. Let's look good. We get our names popping, and we start right away the promotion to fight each other. And look, the shit is going to be on Netflix. The numbers are going to be crazy. Packer Gamer, Floyd saw Manny fight Barrios, and it inspired him. Let's see. I think so. I think that was a factor. And you know what? I said before, if Manny Pacquiao would have beat Mario Barrios and took his title, Floyd Mayweather would have challenged him for that title. Like, yeah, now I'm going to take your shit. Beat you again for your title. But it didn't play out that way. Maurice Briggs, he's still one of my favorite fighters. I mean, when you talk about Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, two of the greatest of all time. The real King George, Pac has 62 wins, Floyd has 50 wins. But you know that what becomes popular now in this social media age is the O. The fact that Floyd Mayweather's undefeated. Maurice Briggs, I think Pacman going to beat Floyd. Whoa. You see, that's the thing, man. It's so hard to envision Floyd getting beat just because he never been beat. And then they fought each other and Floyd beat him. But then you also have to consider, you know, the inactivity time. Floyd hasn't been in a real fight in what, 10 years already? 9 years since he fought Conor McGregor. So, is that going to play a factor? And his age, 49. He just turned 49 years old. Missile, I could easily take you down. Oh my God, we got a dummy in the building. I could easily tell you to shut the hell up for 24 hours and come back and don't be stupid tomorrow. That I can do really easily, dummy. Packer Gamer. The reason why Floyd wins again is his defense and accuracy. Floyd might stop Manny to the body. Nah, I don't see that happening, bro. Packers Gamer, I don't see no chance of Floyd Mayweather stopping Manny Pacquiao. None at all. Outboxing him, that could happen. Outboxing him, that could happen. But we also have to consider, is Floyd Mayweather still going to have that footwork at 49 years old? Because a lot of that great defense also relies on that footwork. Floyd was able to move around for 12 rounds on Manny Pacquiao in that first fight. Is he going to be able to do that this time around? That's something to consider. Pasta track. 50-0, I rewatched a Cesar Chavez fight last night, and he was like 72-0 and knocked out Meldrick Taylor. I'm going to tell you something funny, Pasta track. Julio Cesar Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor, the first fight. That was the first time my pops took me to go see a fight. That was on pay-per-view. He took me to a friend's house. I was 11 years old. And we went to see that fight. And ever since then, that's it. I've been in love with boxing. Boxing became my favorite sport right then and there. Maurice Briggs. And he ain't got the best chin. I'm telling you, I don't see Floyd Mayweather knocking. If this fight ends in knockout, it's Floyd Mayweather getting knocked out. I don't see 49-year-old Floyd knocking out Pacman. No, I just don't see it. Packers Gamer. I don't know. I see Floyd sitting on his shots more instead of moving. And I said that before. Look, at his age, I think it's a lot harder to maintain that constant movement. So I do see him standing in the pocket with Manny and trading with him. I just don't think he got the power to stop him. To the body or to the dome piece. John Rocks. But Floyd always in shape. You think Russ still get Floyd? I mean, I agree with you on that. Floyd is going to be in great shape for that fight. In great shape. He's definitely not going to run out of gas. He's definitely not going to be looking tired out there. But ring rust, maybe it could be a factor. Maybe. I mean, 49, you haven't fought professionally in 9 years. But also, he's been doing a lot of exhibitions. And he's in the gym a lot. So, I don't know. Maybe he's going to be sharp. Packer Gamer. I see Floyd sitting on his shots more instead of moving. I see that too. Honestly, I see that happening. Shakur, you missed my comment. That's why you thought I was saying you're lying. I never would say that about you. But Bill, everyday lying. Nah, I didn't think you were saying I was lying. I missed that. I didn't know what you was referring to. Bill, man, listen. Bill, he do what he got to do to promote his son. He be saying some stuff sometimes that I be like, do he really believe that? Like he said, Shakur Stevenson is easy work for Devin. I don't think he believes that. You know, I think he's saying what he's supposed to say about his son, as opposed to him actually believing it. The real King George. If Manny beats Mayweather, that's upset in his own town. I mean, if he beat Mayweather, that would be huge, man. That would just take over all boxing social media platforms. Everybody in the world will be talking about it. Maurice Briggs, facts. Floyd Chin been suspect. I mean, he got buzzed, but Manny Pacquiao got slept too. I think at their age, 49, 47 years old, they're going to be on the same playing field. Two fighters that are way past their prime and going to be in the best shape that they can get in, and let's see who can win. The letter M. Floyd's going to have the ball, that ball footwork like the UK commentators were saying. But it's like I said, man, at 49 years old, how much of that footwork are we really going to see? Okay, hold on. We got a dummy over here. Let me get this dummy out of here. Looking for attention. Pass the track. I think Floyd is going to have to box more than dancing and hiking in this fight, which will leave him open. And that's why I said yesterday that I believe Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2 may actually turn out to be more interesting than the first one. More fun to watch, more action-packed. Because if Floyd is not able to rely on his footwork as much, that means he's going to stand in the pocket. They're going to trade more than they did it the first time around. Side, he don't believe that. Yo, man, listen. Bill Haney been saying a lot of stuff that I really don't think he believe it. Packers Gamer. One thing for sure, Floyd never drank or did drugs. So at least Floyd coming in that ring in shape. That's the one thing about Floyd and him having a different level of discipline. If you think about it, you've never seen in your life a video of a drunk Floyd Mayweather, a high Floyd Mayweather, a fat Floyd Mayweather. You never seen it. And you're never going to see it. Why? Because Floyd Mayweather, he's taking care of his body, you know, at that level that the greatest do. The same way like Michael Jordan, the same way like Wayne Gretzky, the same way like LeBron James, the same way like the best athletes in the world. That's how you take care of his body, like Tim Brady, like people like that, the GOATs. You don't see Floyd Mayweather messing around. Even when you see him at the club, he be having a bottle of water. He got the bottle of liquor that's paying him for him to take a picture with it, but you never see him actually drinking. You see him with the liquor promoting it. What they paying him to post that shit? 50K, just a quick pic with the bottle. Whatever they paying him. You don't see him drinking it though. You don't see him zipping it. Floyd Mayweather is, as far as drugs and alcohol, Floyd Mayweather is clean as a whistle. And then his workout ethics. Zab Judah spoke about Floyd when he was in training camp with Floyd. Floyd calling him like, yo, get up, we going running. What the fuck, bro? It's 2 in the morning. Yeah, we going running. Let's go. And they will go running at 2 in the morning. Then at 8 in the morning, Floyd talking about, yo, let's go, we going running. What the fuck? Yo, we was running at 2 in the morning. Yeah, we got to run again. And Zab Judah said it like, yo, when I was in training camp with Floyd Mayweather, that's when I realized, yo, this nigga trained different. This nigga's a different animal. And that's the type of workout ethics that Floyd Mayweather has always had. Think about this. Even when Floyd Mayweather is not fighting, he don't even got an exhibition set up. He's removed from boxing for almost 10 years, and he still be in the gym. This motherfucker still got a six-pack. He still be running. He still be hitting the bags, hitting the mitts. So Floyd Mayweather staying in shape, that's part of his lifestyle. He never been the type of fighter who just got in shape when it was time for a fight. And there's a lot of fighters like that, my peoples. There's fighters who actually don't step in the gym unless they already got a contract signed. I don't want to throw nobody under the bus. A few names come to mind. But there's fighters out there. And that's why you see some fighters between fights get fat as hell. Like, bro, how you like 30, 40 pounds over the weight class where you fight? How you a 135 pounder, you walking around at 180? How you a welterweight and you walking around 180, 190? What the fuck? That's no bueno, papi. That's no good. The fighters, you see side butt was the same. Terrence Crawford, the same deal. You never seen Terrence Crawford drinking alcohol. You never seen him high, smoking a blunt. You never seen him, fat and out of shape. Never. Why? Because these people take care of their body to another level. While everybody's vacationing, look at LeBron James. Win an NBA championship. Take a few days vacation. While everybody is on vacation, LeBron James is already in the gym. Shooting free throws, shooting jump shots, doing layups, doing drills, running full court games while everybody's still vacationing. He got that from Michael Jordan. He got that from Kobe Bryant, who used to do the same thing. Terrence Crawford, the same deal. This guy beat Errol Spence and he was in the gym a few days later already, hitting the bag, jumping rope, doing like, God damn, bro, you taking a break? These people are different, y'all. Those champions that reach that level, they train different. They take care of their body differently. So Floyd Mayweather is one of those. We might see no ring rust when he step in there with Manny Pacquiao. Adalberto, the footwork won't matter because they're both old, so Pacquiao footwork will be slow. So forget any footwork for this fight and take notes on their defense, and that will tell Floyd wins. Wait a minute, because we saw Manny Pacquiao fight with Mario Barrios, and he was pretty fast on his feet. You can't just go by the age, my guy. It's not just the age. It's also the conditioning that they're in and the skills that they have. Manny was light on his toes versus Mario Barrios, and that fight was a draw, but dare I say, Manny could have won it. The outcome could have gone either way. Could have gone either way. Pass the track. The fool got Riddick Bowe. You see? Riddick Bowe could have been an all-time great heavyweight. All-time great. But he could have stayed in shape. I mean, James Buster Douglas, too. People consider him the biggest upset in boxing history. And because of that, it's almost like people feel Buster is a bum. Or like he was just a little cherry pick that got lucky and beat Mike Tyson. Buster Douglas was nice. I always tell people, when people tell me Buster Douglas was no good, I always tell them, yo, go look at video of him. This guy was nice. He just couldn't stay in shape. That was his problem. Could not stay in shape, did not have the discipline to do it. But skills-wise, it was really good. Packer Gamer, Manny missed a lot of punches against Barrios as well. John Wayne, everyone hit the like button. Come on, my peoples. We've been at it for over an hour, not even 30 likes. We got to stop with the ghost watching, y'all. Adalberto, a garbage Barrios that never has a plan, always fight the same. Adalberto, I got to disagree with you, man. Nobody who's ever won a world title is garbage. That doesn't exist. I mean, if you never laced on a pair of gloves in your life and never competed, which I'm pretty sure you never have, you could feel that way. And I don't mean that in any bad way, but because you never boxed a day in your life, you'll go around calling world champions garbage. That's just that. You never boxed a day in your life. That's why you feel that way. John Wayne, everyone hit the like button, no doubt. Young Guns, Hopkins was a unified champion at 49 years old. So anything is possible. That's a fact. Anything is possible. And look, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, they right about the same age. 49, 47, they're close enough. This is going to be an interesting fight. Adalberto, No, the letter M. It's going to be boring. Look, I think that this time around, it may even be better than the first time. Why? Because at this age, Floyd might not rely on his footwork as much as he used to. I think now he may be a little bit more willing to stand in the phone booth and trade with Manny. So I think that this fight might end up being more interesting than the first one. Adalberto, I know what you're saying, but a world title is not easy to win, Adalberto. Nobody who wins a world title is garbage. Nobody. If you garbage, you wouldn't even make it to being ranked in the top 10. If you garbage, you're never even going to get a title shot. No such thing as a title shot if you garbage. Unless the guy who was going to fight got hurt and you went in on last notice, they gave you an opportunity. That can't happen. But if you earn a title shot, if you become a mandatory, if you climb your way up, you cannot be garbage, bro. You will get pulverized early on and never make it to that title shot. Packer Gamer, wasn't George Foreman 48 when he won his heavyweight title? I don't remember the exact age off the top of my head, but I do know he was in his late 40s. But let me say this. If you recall, or if you had the opportunity to watch it, George Foreman won that title against Michael Moorer. I watched that fight live. And he was getting his ass whooped for the whole fight. He was losing every single round until he landed that right hand. Boom! Dropped him. Michael Moorer tried to get up, but it was too hard of a shot. Ended him right there. That could happen in the heavyweight division. That's not going to happen between Floyd and Manny. Neither one of them is going to land one punch and boom, get the other one out of there. That's not going to happen. So Foreman was able to basically pull off the win because he had that power, that one-punch knockout power that it just doesn't leave you. He landed on Michael Moorer, sent him straight to Valhalla. This fight is not going to play out that way. Floyd's going to play too safe into a win. Young Guns. And like you said, Jay Smith, no drinking, smoking. That was Hopkins' life. We've been talking about those great fighters who get to that level and stay at that level for years and years and years, and they have that in common. No drinking, no smoking. You don't see them partying like that. And even the ones that you like, look at Floyd. Floyd liked to party. You see him in the club with a bottle of water. Everybody else getting drunk. Floyd got his water right there. Only time he grabbed that bottle is to take a picture with it. You probably seen a million pictures of Floyd in the club with a bottle. Guess what? They paid him like $50,000 just to take a picture with that bottle. You never seen him with the bottle in his mouth, though. I dare you to find a video of him actually zipping from it. You ain't gonna find it. Not gonna find it. Young Guns. 45, Foreman won the heavyweight title. Queeb, you're right, but the age. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao is about the same age. 49 years old, 47 years old. So there's not really going to be an advantage when it comes to that. Pasta trap. Straight right dumpster to the face. To the face piece. Young Guns. So many people thought Foreman punch on Moorer was staged. Oh, now hell no, bro. Hell no. I watched that fight live. Yo, listen, George Foreman put the whole... He was weighing like 270 pounds for that fight. He was overweight and everything. The whole 270 pounds in George Foreman's body was behind that one punch. Boom! He just put everything he had on it. And caught him flush. Definitely not staged, bro. You can even see Michael Moorer with his eyes glassy when he opened them like he was out of it, bro. Really, really hurt. The real King George. Packers should or went to the Super Bowl. Packer Gamer. I need to go back and watch. I just remember being a kid, hearing about it, my pops, a boxing friend. Nah, check it out. If you just got to look at the replay of the knockout. You could actually YouTube the actual knockout. It was a devastating blow from Big George Foreman. Devastating blow. That type of shot. John Wayne, no matter how old Floyd is, the sweet science is always on display when he put the gloves on. That's a fact. You're going to see Floyd performing at a high level. Pasta track, Floyd learned all about that shit growing up in a crack den. Young Guns, Jay Smith, salute family. Pasta track, no way. Foreman got canned hams. Foreman was a killer. Bro, Foreman is without a doubt one of the hardest punches in history. In history. You remember when he, and obviously it's not like I saw it, you know, live or anything. I was too young, but the replay, I've seen it a million times. George Foreman versus Joe Frazier. How Foreman, yo, this was crazy. I've never seen this. In this current era, I've never seen this. Remember how George Foreman would uppercut, smoking Joe, bang, and literally lift him off his feet. Like, make him go like that. Boom. You ever seen somebody do that shit, bro? Like, punch somebody and lift them off their feet? Feet in the air? That's the type of power George Foreman had, yo. You don't see that every day. There's nobody today that I've ever seen do that. Hit a guy and lift him up. That's a whole different level of power right there. Adalberto, Barrios was too slow for Pacquiao. Just like to Ryan. JMO, Shannon Briggs said Foreman smelled like a bear. He said he punched Foreman in the eye and he didn't even blink. Remember he said it felt like getting hit by a car. Boom! Like got hit by Foreman. Like, God damn, that's like getting hit by a car, bro. Queen, when people say that George Foreman knocked people down with glancing blows, there's people that just got clipped. Boom. You're down. The letter M. Floyd is still sharp. He's going to give Pacman a chess match, ass whooping. I mean, it wasn't an ass whooping the first time around. I don't know why you will see it that way now, the letter M. The first time around, it wasn't an ass whooping. It was a good fight. Floyd won, but it wasn't an ass whooping. Adalberto. Exactly. Floyd Sweet Sign will kill Pacquiao at Pacquiao age. But you're talking about at Pacquiao age, bro. Floyd is older than Pacquiao. Pacquiao 47, Floyd 49. Stay dangerous. What's crazy is I'm a heavyweight. George was kind of small. Most of those guys were. I mean, I don't say George was small, bro. George was a pretty big dude. Like, let me give you an example. Mike Tyson, at 5'10", he was a small heavyweight. But George Foreman, if I'm not mistaken, he was like, what, 6'2"? George was a big dude. Pasta track. Joe was running away from Big George. He almost killed Kenny Norton. And the thing is that, yo, Joe Frazier was that guy who was all forward, bam, bam, no reverse gear. But with George Foreman, things had to change. George Foreman was damn near trying to kill him out there. The real King George, Butter Beans, was the man I wouldn't mess with. Damn, Butter Beans, if he wasn't, you know, the frame that he had, he could have went far. He could have went far in boxing, but he was too small, too round, and he just didn't have the build. You know, he didn't have the build to ever fight, you know, a 12-round fight or anything like that. The letter M. Floyd is going to hit and move. I think it's going to be on the boring side for the casual viewer. We'll see, man. I think it's going to be less moving this time around. At 49 years old, I don't think Floyd is going to be able to move like he did the first time. So I think now the next step is for him to prepare himself to trade leather with Manny. Stay dangerous. Deontay did that to King Kong Ortiz. Lifted Loma off his feet from a body shot. Lifted Loma. I'm telling you, when guys have that type of power that they can lift you up, it's different. Stay dangerous. I'm 6'6", 270. You see? you're close. You would be close to George Foreman because he was six. I don't know six what, but he was also over 6 feet tall. Do you box? Stay dangerous. Do you box? Queen, how can you say George Foreman is small? Like George Foreman was a big man when he was slimmed down, but when he got big, George Foreman, goddamn, yo, big. Look what they called him, Big George. That's what they called him, bro. Look at that, 6'4", there you go. Young guns. Foreman was 6'4" and weighed in at 257 pounds against Holyfield. You see, he was a big dude, bro. Pasta track. Small George was 6'3" and 230 in his prime. George was 260 when he came back. Was a mean guy and used to spar with Liston. That says it all. B. Wayne, you see that KO from Zhang in the Joyce rematch? It was crazy. It was. Big Bang Zhang is a guy who I think can still become a world champion. Look how he stopped Deontay Wilder too. The letter M. Itama, I feel, is giving them pain. Look, man, Moses Itama, when his opportunity comes, he's gonna show out. Moses Itama, and I think they doing a great job with him. You don't have to, rush him. Very young fighter, if I'm not mistaken. Itama, what is he, like 21, 22? He's young. He's young. You don't have to rush his career. You don't have to push for a title right now. But I say keep developing him. Give him like a whole other year of development. Give him high-rated opponents, highly ranked opponents. Let him keep beating highly ranked opponents and then get him that title shot. But Moses Itama, man, he's a dangerous fighter. He's going to do big things, for sure. Luis Pimentel, I would have loved to see Big George versus Mike Tyson. If there's someone that can beat Mayweather, it's the 8th division champ, Pacman. I would have loved to see George Foreman versus Mike Tyson. But I think the reason that didn't happen is because George Foreman's career is kind of winding down as Mike Tyson's career was going up. And Foreman himself said it. He was not trying, he didn't want nothing to do with Tyson. Because he was older already. So he felt like, if I get in there, this guy's going to demolish me. Pasta track. People don't know, before George started boxing, he was collecting for people down south and breaking jaws and eye sockets. Yo, Big George was a bad dude. Bad dude. Funny thing about George Foreman, the most money that he ever made in his life was from the George Foreman grilling machine. And I seen him talk about it. Watch this. I seen him talk about it. He said that they went to him either a grilling machine or a blender, like a juicer. And they told him pick one, pick the one that he wanted to put his name on it, and that's going to be his product. And, he was trying to choose between the blender to make smoothies and stuff like that and the grilling machine. And he said that, to him, the grilling machine makes sense because he likes to barbecue. He likes to do a lot of stuff so he can see himself actually using it. He wanted to pick a product that he was going to be using. So he went with the grilling machine. I don't know what other celebrity got the blender. The blender didn't do shit, bro. The blender flopped and the grilling machine. When that thing came out, I had one. Everybody I knew had one. It got to, the grilling machine got so popular that you could go to any store now. Any store, every store had the grilling machine available. And what I like the most about the grilling machine is that it would have this little tray, so you would put something in it. Let's say you would put whatever kind of meat, chicken, and as it's grilling it, it's taking out the grease and bringing it down into this little tray. You see all the grease that came out of it. It's like, damn, this shit really is healthy. And that grilling machine made George Foreman more money than any fight in his career. The letter M. The chimney of the George Foreman grill beat. Yo, the George Foreman grilling machine, my peoples. Super, super popular. JJ Sendeja, salute, my brother. Bam, in the building. Fellas, Fellas, we're going to be getting this fight soon. We're going to be getting this fight soon. Pasta track, that grill made like 400 mils. Side, the fat drainer. Yeah, man. The George Foreman grilling machine was an invention that revolutionized the way you're making meat. Because obviously it's not the same as you putting it in a frying pan with all that grease and then it absorbed the grease. The grilling machine did the opposite. It took all that grease out. And then it all landed in this little tray. So you see how much grease was in that shit. You see how much oil was in that joint. My peoples, this fight right here, I actually was announcing it before they announced it. Pasta tried to revolutionize the cheeseburger game. Oh no, the cheeseburger game was different now. We was actually eating healthy burgers. My peoples, this fight right here, I was announcing it before they announced it. I guess when I saw David Benavidez saying that Zurdo was next, I assumed that the fight was a done deal, that they had already signed. And they had not signed, but I thought they did. So I've been telling you guys, this fight is going to happen. Benavidez is going to watch him. I've been talking about it like it was a done deal. Bro, now it is a done deal. It is a done deal now. It's happening. Clifton Dennis, I like this fight. Zurdo can push David and be his toughest test. John Parham in the building. Bam. Crazy how George didn't lose no weight. Yeah, George wasn't trying to. George was eating everything that he made with the grill, but he was also making some extracurricular eating things. The letter M. I got the Mexican monster grilling him off the Foreman grilling machine. The Mexican monster is going to grill him. I agree with you. It's going to be a good fight. Suro is going to be a tough opponent. He's a big guy. He's a guy, you know, who has technical assets. But I think the speed and the volume punching from Benavidez is going to make the difference. Is he going to be able to stop Zurdo? I don't know, because it's like I told you guys before, man. Mexican fighters who are like at that level, it's hard to knock them out, baby. It's hard. You got to wait for these guys to be washed to knock them out. So because of that, I see that it's really hard to knock them out. But I see Benavidez winning this fight, putting the beats on him. Gonna be interesting. You know, I'm sure Zurdo's not gonna be there just to get watched. Moro mas, salute family, bam. Zurdo's not there to get watched. He's gonna give him a tough fight. But the Mexican monster, ultimately, I expect him to win this fight. This is gonna be a good one too, my peoples. Naoya Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. Whoa. This is going to be an interesting fight. Nakatani didn't look good in his last outing, but he had a tough opponent to deal with. Very tough opponent. Just because he didn't look good in his last outing doesn't mean that he's going to get washed by Naoya Inoue. But I am going to tell you, they have a very similar style. Pass the track. Benavidez move up to cruiserweight. So he's already stated that he's going to fight Zurdo and move back down because he wants to fight Beterbiev and Bivol. So let's see. The letter M, Nakatani, is going to get washed. Young Guns. I'm down on Junto because of the last fight. I thought Hernandez beat him. That was a good fight, man. That was a very competitive fight, very close. Honestly, I felt like it could have gone either way. But I'm going to say this. If you remember how the first fight played out, Junto Nakatani dominated the first 4 or 5 rounds, but he dominated by using his footwork, by using his movement, the angles. And then all of a sudden, he started trading leverage, standing in the pocket. And he was losing a lot of those exchanges. He was getting clipped with some big shots. And then at the end, I think round 11, he went back to that footwork again, at round number 12. So as long as he was boxing and moving, he was winning that fight. But then when he stopped to trade, he was getting hit with some big shots. And he was losing a lot of exchanges. So how is he going to fight now? Yeah, you know, I'm not sure. But if you think about it, they both have a similar style, which I think is the perfect recipe for fireworks. We're going to see fireworks in this fight. I haven't made a prediction just yet. I know off of his last performance, people already down on Nakatani. I don't use the last performance to make a prediction. Remember how Devin Haney was supposed to get washed because his last performance, all he did was run? And how did that work out for Brian Norman Jr.? He got cooked. I don't base a prediction based on last performance alone. I know that doesn't mean crap. Styles make fights. Pasta track. The monster is so excited to watch. It's so exciting to watch. Them little guys have crazy action. Man, listen. Man, listen. Every single fight from Naoya Inoue is action-packed. Whether it's competitive or whether he's watching his opponent, but he just got that style. That's one thing about the monster. He's going in there to do what he's going to do no matter what you're doing. It don't matter what type of defense you got. It don't matter if you want to be aggressive. It don't matter if you want to move. This guy's going in there looking to hurt you, looking to pulverize you, looking to get you out of there. He always have those intentions. Even the jab. If you look at the monster, now you know, even with the jab, he's trying to hurt you. Putting weight behind. He's sitting on that jab. B. Wayne, one of the most exciting fights in boxing. It's going to be a good one. Going to be a good fight. Young Guns. It's going to be the biggest sporting event in Tokyo Dome history. Side, you know it's too much for Nakatani. It's going to be a samurai fight. I'm super looking forward to this one, my peoples, because you know, these two guys, even though Nakatani didn't have the best performance in his last fight, I know the level of skill he has. I know what he brings to the table. And Nakatani is one of those guys who's also there to inflict bodily harm on his opponent. He's there to hurt you. Whoa, Young Guns with the super chat vibes. Salute, my brother. Always appreciate you. Jay Smith, if Inoue stops Junto, is he pound for pound number one? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, I think Nakatani, you know, it's a big, big win. But to me, now you know it is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world right now. I got him at number one, Usyk at number two. So to me, he's already number one. A win over Nakatani, I think it solidifies him. And it means that if Usyk doesn't fight a big name, whoever he beats, he's going to stay at number two. He's not going to be able to overtake Naoya Inoue. Which, by the way, look at how many title defenses, how many consecutive championship fights Naoya Inoue has. And the guy, he's number one pound for pound in the world for a reason. Jason in the house. Boxing for breakfast. It's priceless spam, eggs, cheese, and toast. Ooh, you're having that elite level breakfast. Pasta track. If ain't a definite or either guy, you fight your best against your best opponent. And that's the reality. Styles make fights. So just because a fighter didn't look good against that opponent doesn't mean that he's not going to look good against another opponent. That's why I make the example with Devin Haney. Look what happened when he fought in Times Square, where people say he did too much running and he was fighting scared and he's already messed up in the head after what Ryan Garcia did to him. The very next fight, a lot of people predicted that he was going to get knocked out because he was going to fight scared because of what happened in the last fight. And he gave Brian Norman Jr. the beating of a lifetime, dominated him, made him look like a Wendy's second shift supervisor. So don't cling on too much to what happened in that last fight, because the last fight is not always going to dictate a future outcome. Side, Usyk got to fight Caballero to be number one. I agree with you. You see, if Usyk fights Caballero, beat him, he goes to that number one spot. But he already said, Mauricio the goofball Sulaiman already said that Usyk doesn't want to go against the mandatory just yet. That he want to do a defense first and then fight him. The letter M. I like Wendy's. I like Wendy's too. The fries be good. The burgers be good. The baked potato with the cheese and broccoli be good. I like Wendy's. But you shouldn't be looking like a Wendy's second shift supervisor if you're in the ring. Pass a track. That's really good for Devin because he really needed that win for his own mentality. He needed that win for sure. Because the narrative had already been that Ryan Garcia ruined him and that he wasn't the same anymore. Well, Debo Devin's better than ever. Better than ever. Shakur hands, adding too much sauce on this Dev fight. Man, listen, Devin Haney, he's Debo. He's Debo Dev right now. Gotta respect it. Debo Dev, my people. That's who he is. So, by the way, these two fights are happening the same day. Not on the same card, but Inoue versus Nakatani, Benavidez versus Ramirez. Both fighting on May 2nd. And let me just point this out. David Benavidez took the Cinco de Mayo date from Canelo Alvarez. I think that from here on out, it's going to be his date. Because you guys know, Canelo, he's already on his way out of boxing. How many fights does he really have left in him? He's not going to stick around and just start getting his ass beat up by everybody. So he lost to Bud Crawford. I think that it's a possibility that he could win his next fight, win a title, and retire. And say, look, I'm a retiring champion. But if he's going to stick around, who is he going to fight? Clifton Dennis. These guys are scared to face the top dogs in the division. Usyk done it twice with all of them. Wait a minute, because now Usyk got Caballero. And Caballero is Usyk's mandatory, and Usyk don't want to fight him next. He want to fight a voluntary defense. Voluntary defense is when you get to cherry pick. Not necessarily a cherry, but he was talking about Deontay Wilder. And I consider Deontay Wilder a cherry for Usyk. So he want to pick an opponent, fight, and then fight Caballero later this year. So Caballero, listen, he's somebody who has a chance to pull off the upset. Luis Pimentel, saludos, Jay. The two monsters are the dogs, most exciting fighters to watch in 2026. And they'll both be fighting the same day. They'll both be fighting the same day. The monster and the Mexican monster. Both of them. Pass the track. People put too much emphasis on a loss. If the fighter isn't too emotional, they can learn from the loss. Of course, man. We've seen fighters accomplish after losing. I remember I had said Rayo Valenzuela was going to be a champion early on. He was like, maybe like 12-0, 13-0. And I was like, yo, this kid is going to become a world champion. And as soon as he lost, a lot of people told me, you don't know shit about boxing, Jay. You being emotional. You like the guy. He's never going to be a champion. And look, he became a champion as an underdog. Beat Pitbull Cruz when everybody was saying he was going to get stopped and all of this stuff. So guys take a loss and then become a champion all the time. Everybody doesn't just stay undefeated. Canelo Alvarez, after losing to Floyd Mayweather, became better than he ever was. Way better than he ever was. Losing, people don't think about that. But I'm telling you, this is facts. Losing to Floyd Mayweather was actually the best thing that ever happened to Canelo Alvarez. Best thing that ever happened in his career. You know why? Because when he lost to Floyd is when he realized, oh shit, I can't just bully my opponent. I can't just out-tough my opponents. There's guys out there that are going to have boxing skills that are going to push me. And I'm going to have to box them. I'm going to have no choice. So after losing to Floyd Mayweather, you saw Canelo Alvarez develop head movement, develop waist movement, develop those angles, develop more combination, more offensive firepower. So taking that L to Floyd absolutely made him a better fighter. And he went on a crazy run. How many titles, how many divisions, how many accomplishments after losing to Floyd Mayweather? So a loss can actually make somebody a lot better than what they were before that. Pass the track, I will say with some confidence, while it's been done, since that Chinese dude packed him up in a suitcase and sent him back to the USA. Look, man, honestly, I believe that Wilder was done after that third fight with Fury. After that third fight, I was like, yeah, he's not going to become a champion again. I don't see him winning another title. Do you think Canelo and Bud will come back? Well, Canelo's going to fight. I think he's going to fight and Billy, possibly, for the vacant WBC strap. Terrence Crawford, he already made it clear that he's retired, so I don't expect him to come back. Enjoy his retirement. He went out on top. #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, fighter of the year, undisputed for the third time. He's good. You don't got nothing else to accomplish. Kenneth Harvin, a.k.a. Miguel Cotto. John Pound, let's get to 40 likes, my people. Come on, my people. No ghost watching today. Young Guns. Clifton, I hate that logic. Usyk is a 3-belt unified champion. He only fight once a year, so if he needs the next best contender. And that's the thing, man. Usyk, right now, we know the accomplishments. One of the best heavyweights of this era. And I think he's going down as an all-time great. But he's at a point in his career where you want to see him fight the best out there. You want to see him fight the best out there. I don't want to hear about no Usyk trying to fight Wilder, which he was trying to get that fight. I don't want to hear that. And the thing is, now yeah, you know it, he's active, man. He'll fight 3-4 times a year. He's one of the guys with the most activity. And all of his opponents are high-level opponents. So Usyk is going to have his work cut out for him if he want to go to #1 in the pound-for-pound list. When you got Naoya Inoue doing what he's been doing. Colorado, who's the best Mexican boxer of all time? I mean, that's up for debate. We can say it's Canelo Alvarez. We can say Julio Cesar Chavez. And there could be a few more, but I think it's between them two. The letter M. Usyk versus Wilder would sell and be a great hype fight. Honestly, I don't like that fight. To me, Wilder is a cherry pick. A guy who hasn't been, hasn't got a significant win in a very long time, hasn't been a champion in years. I see that as a cherry pick. Clifton Dennis. That he does his fight the best. I think Usyk will make Wilder look easy. Make him look easy. Put all type of hands on him. That's how I see it playing out. Whoa, Young Guns with the super chat vibes. Salute, my brother. Bam. Young Gun says, Prime versus Prime. Holyfield versus Usyk. Who you got? That's a tough one right there, bro. That's a tough one. So, Prime versus Prime, honestly, and they're both very similar because you remember Evander Holyfield was also a cruiserweight champion who moved up to the heavyweight division. So there's parallels in their career. Prime for Prime, I think I have to go for Evander Holyfield, bro. Evander Holyfield, to me, is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And Usyk is turning out to be one of the best of all time too. But I think Evander Holyfield would have got him. Tough. It's a tough fight to predict. I think that's a 50-50 fight with the skill set that they both bring to the table. But I'm going with Holyfield to get that. Young Gun, Salvador Sanchez, most talented Mexican ever, I think. He's definitely one of those guys. Unfortunately, you know, he went out young from a car accident. So we didn't get to see everything that he could have accomplished. We didn't get to see his career play out like the other fighters. So that's why it's hard for me. And I didn't get to watch him. You know, he was fighting before my time, obviously. So I didn't get to see him myself. I didn't get to experience it myself. I just know that Salvador Sanchez was a great fighter, but I didn't get to experience it like the other guys. Shakur Hands, that's a cherry like Arrow is the fight I want. Side, Usyk smokes Wilder. Yeah, I see Usyk smoking Wilder. Brady, Julio Cesar was the best Mexican fighter ever. The letter M, Holyfield. Shakur Hands, we can bring in to Texas and make it a big fight. Posse Track, Holyfield. Side, Arrow is my dream fight. I would love to fight Arrow. Man, shut the fuck up. You see Bulls right there next to you. Don't even get me mad saying that shit, bro. You see Bulls right there next to you. You talk about your dream fight is Arrow. I want to punch you in the mouth for saying that shit. Yo, I guarantee you, when he started talking about my dream fight will be Arrow, I guarantee you, my peoples, there was people at Golden Boy, like the executives and shit, like, what the fuck is he doing? Well, what is he doing? We said it's Boots. We brought Boots in the ring. How the fuck he calling Arrow? Where Arrow come from? He must have got people mad as hell, bro. Whoa. Brandon Brewster with the super chat vibes. Salute, my brother. Bam. Salute. I'm new to the channel. Good vibes, fam. Off topic. Who you got prime? Tito Trinidad or Boots? Right now. Ooh, damn, bro. Why you gotta do me like that, Brandon? That's a tough one, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you why that's so tough. Tito Trinidad is one of my favorite fighters of all time. Of all time. To me, Trinidad is the best. I know some people have different opinions, but to me, Tito Trinidad is the best Mexican boxer in history, ever. And we know what Bulls bring to the table. And I also think Tito Trinidad is one of the best welterweight fighters of all time. He never took an L at welterweight and got the second most title defenses in that division. Boots, man. Boots is a special fighter. Trinidad was a special fighter. It's hard for me to say, bro. You put me on the spot. Brandon, you put me on the spot big time with that one. Boots versus Tito Trinidad. I'll tell you what, man. If that fight happens at welterweight, I got Tito Trinidad beating Boots. If it happens at welterweight. If it happens at 154, you remember what Tito Trinidad did to David Reed, right? And I'm not saying that Boots is David Reed, but David Reed was an Olympic gold medalist who was undefeated, and Tito Trinidad put the beat on him. And you know that Boots could be a little bit irresponsible with his defense sometimes. You know, I'm going with Trinidad. Tough to make a decision on that one, but I'm going with Trinidad beating Boots. Matter of fact, right now, I don't think I could envision any active fighter beating Trinidad right now. I'm talking about at 147 and 154. Then after that, you know, that's when he lost and he went too high for his size. Big weight, you know, weight class up there. But at 147, 154, I don't think I see anybody beating Trinidad, bro. Shakur Hands, that's like Usyk fighting Comer. The letter M, Arrow is my dream fight. Gets Jay pissed off, bro. Arrow's my dream fight. Shut the fuck up, B. What is you talking about? He's your dream fight. Queen, if your honest opinion, what does Wilder have to do to beat Usyk. I mean, he's not going to outbox him. To beat Usyk, I think he got to catch him with that right hand. That straight right hand. Boom. If he catch him with the same right hand that George Foreman caught Michael Moorer with, he could pull off the upset. You got to hurt him. You got to hurt him. If you don't hurt him, you're not winning that fight. You're not winning a boxing match. For sure. Brandon Broussard. Mine too. John Parham. These boots. Way more. Yeah, I got Tito. It's too hard to go against Tito Trinidad, bro. It's too hard. And Boots is a great fighter. Y'all know the respect that I got for him. But Tito Trinidad, man, he was a different animal too. Clifton Dennis. Who's June Kim? And I know T.J. Donaghy, but it's average at best. These are some of Monster's recent opponents. But that's the thing, Clifton Dennis, that you have to understand. In those lower weight classes, these guys are not famous. So you're not gonna, most of his opponents, you're not gonna know them. Like right now, if I put you on the spot and I tell you, name me 2 of the world champions at 112, chances are you won't be able to. If I tell you, name 2 champions at 116 or 118, you won't be able to name them. So you not knowing them doesn't mean that they're not good. All I would ask you is, check out June Kim and T.J. Donaghy and see where they was ranked. And what you're going to find out is that they was both ranked in the top 3 of whatever sanctioning body they was on. Or been world champions. Brandon, my bad homie, B. Wayne. It was disappointing as a Texan hearing Virgil call out Spence when they're both Texas fighters. Look, to me, it wasn't disappointing because they're both Texas fighters, because I think them being from Texas makes it easy to make that fight, and you know, they selling out the stadium wherever they fight. But it's disappointing because you know that Errol been inactive for 2.5 years. And Boots is in the ring right there standing next to you. Why would you call out Errol Spence? A guy who's inactive over this guy right here who you yourself was calling out. It's almost like they was calling out Boots when they knew Boots was not going to fight him. They was bluffing. They made me feel like they was bluffing because when Boots was going to fight Lima, they were like, yeah, we want you, we want you. When he wanted a tune-up, they wanted him badly. But now that he's in the ring with you, calling your bluff, telling you in your face how beat your ass, now you want to call out Arrow. You wasn't calling out Arrow before. You waited for Boots to be in your face to do that? That shit is weak as hell. Weak as hell to me. Born Power, Trinidad's Puerto Rican. Yes, sir. John Parra, Wilder needs a gun to beat Usyk. I mean, listen, you're not going to outbox him. No disrespect to Deontay Wilder. He's not going to outbox Usyk. I don't see that happening. John Parham, George, respectfully, I'm sleeping, Hydra. Side Arrow might put hands on Tim Tszyu. I like that fight. Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu, I like that fight. The only thing I don't like is Tim Tszyu just fought. Why he got to fight a tune-up type of fight before getting in the ring with Errol? He just fought. Errol Spence is the one coming off of inactivity. And he's not doing a tune-up. He's always been in sync with that mindset of no tune-ups, I'm just going for the big fights. I don't know if this is going to backfire. I felt like Errol should have did a tune-up first. Let's see. On lace kicks. Salute, family. Bam. Posture trap. Wilder ain't mentally strong enough to touch Usyk. I don't think he got the technical skills. I don't think he got, you know, the angles, the movement, the footwork. Usyk has too much in his bag of tools for Wilder. Way too much. The Lunatic Librarian. Can Errol come back and handle punches from a 154 fighter? I think he could, to be honest. When we talk about inactivity, it's 2 sides of it, right? It's the size of, well, is there going to be ring rust? We're going to have to ask that question, right? And then there's the part where we also have to look, which is a positive. When you've been inactive, your body heals right. It heals good. You actually can get strong again. Which, by the way, Errol Spence looks super strong. I seen him recently, like in training, and he looks strong. So the damage that he took from Terrence Crawford, that's already done with. You know, like he's back physically strong. So I think in that aspect, it helps Errol Spence that he's been inactive for that much time before stepping in the ring again. Sai Opetaia fighting Wendy's manager next. You know, when I saw he was going to Zuffa Boxing, I was like, damn, they're going to probably get him a tough opponent right away because the way they're matching up fights on Zuffa Boxing. But, you know, I guess they don't have it yet. They don't have the type of roster to give him a big name. And they would have to let him cross the street to go fight somebody else, which they're not trying to do that right now, I guess. My peoples, I'm about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Another one for you guys. Salute to everybody who tuned in. JJ's in there, has on Lace Kicks. Sai was in the building. Shakur Hands. The Lunatic Librarian. Clifton Dennis. John Parham. Pasta Track was in the hizzy. Just Business. Young Guns. Queeb. Born Power. Salute Family. Brandon Broussard showing love in the building. Salute Family. Ryan Bascom. And everybody else who tuned in this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. We didn't get to 50 likes in 2 hours of action, but that happens. We know there's a bunch of ghosts watching, hating ass mofos that show up in the building. Salute to everybody who tuned in. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate the love. And you guys know it. Tomorrow, 6:30 a.m., Boxing for Breakfast is going to be on doing what we do. My peoples, enjoy the rest of your day. Let's go get this money, man. I'm Jay Smith. I'm signing off. Peace. Bam. We out of here. Bam. People like to hear, so I got to give it to you, right? Bam. We out of here, yo. Y'all already know what it is, man.